Hello everyone, this is Nick here from Focus Driving School here in Sydney. Just about to record something special for you guys. The 21 type of checks for driving the car, also 21 type of checks, specific checks you need to know to pass your RMS driving test. So for you guys who are trying to pass your driver's test, here's a kind of a guideline for you. We'll hope you find it interesting. We're in Sydney and we also cover the areas of eastern suburbs, so if you need any helps to show you some of these checks, I'm most happy to give you a hand with it. So anyway, that's basically it. Okay, so let's look at some of these areas. Okay guys, let's talk about the 21 different types of checks you need to know, okay, to pass the driver's test in New South Wales, Sydney, Australia. Let's look at some of them, but first what is important more is knowing where, how and why we have to sort of check the actual practical area, or where we need to check. So let's have a look at the first one. As you're approaching a corner, check the rear mirrors and side mirrors 100 meters before you approach the corner. That's roughly like 3.5 to 4 poles before you approach a corner. Okay, so now look at the whys. We will need to check who is behind us when stopping or slowing down. That's reason one. Reason two, if we suddenly brake at or before a corner, this could lead us into an accident from a rear end collision, depending how close the vehicle behind is. And 3, allows us to look and assess for traffic better, and it allows us to respond earlier to any traffic conditions. So remember that most of the time is 40% you're driving and you're defending yourself 60% of the time, so remember that. So okay, that's number 1. So let's have a look at the second area of observation. So check your mirrors alongside the parked vehicle before the corner. So what do we do there? We're approaching a corner and we have to check, and we're driving alongside parked cars. We want to make a left turn. We must check our cyclists. So what do we do it for? We must check our cyclists before alongside of us to see if there's any cyclists in the rear of our car. Okay, because sooner or later we're going to have to divert to make a lane change to the left hand side to make a left turn. So this is why we do the mirrors, okay, the rear and the side lefts if you're going to make a left turn. Okay, let's look at number 3. Mirror and head check to the left side before the lane change, passing the last parked vehicle on the left hand side. So you're driving along, you've done the mirrors, okay, for the cyclist, but also just as you divert or lane change just near the parked car to go to the left lane for a left turn with the brakes on, you would do a left head check, a quick head check over the shoulder, just in case you missed a vehicle or a cyclist or a motorcycle. So let's look again. Why do we do that? Just in case we have missed a cyclist that is in our blind spot, and also a motorcycle that is going to flash by us. We can't see that just before the lane change. Okay, that happens all the time. So make sure we can see a cyclist in Sydney. Let's look at number 4. Okay, number 4. This one's important. It's called a pre-check, 10 to 15 meters before the intersection. Usually the opposite side first before our turn. So let's look at 10 to 15 meters. You're approaching a corner, okay, driving and slowing at 50 kilometers an hour. You want to make a left turn, say, okay, and you need to check the inside the corners. You could say it's a pre-check or the early check before you get to the corner. It's good to check the opposite side first, and then the way that you're going second. Okay, opposite side first. So why do we do that? If you're making a left turn, you've got to check the opposite side to the right hand side. It's usually better. It's a recommended. Why? Some drivers tend, here's why. The reason is some drivers tend to oversteer or cut corners or drive too fast around a corner, which leads them towards the vehicle, and then leaving the road, leaving their passage or their lane, and which leads us towards into a head-on collision, usually from the opposite side of your turn. So being ready for this type of action, this type of illegal, dangerous practice from other drivers, okay, could lead us into an accident, or could save us actually from an accident by actually practicing these kind of things, by looking early and getting ready to buffer. So this gives us plenty of time to buffer from the hazard that could happen, and also to build a safety observation habit, and also to have an action to follow, or reaction. You got to be reactionary. Once again, remember that 40% of the time is you're driving what you know safely drive, because you're a low risk driver. It's 60% of the time that we're actually defending ourselves on the road. So that's basically it. Our fifth type of check is called a curb line check. This is where you go towards the giveaway sign or giveaway line, where the curbs would connect. Simple line across the curb. This is where we look through, we check through the corners and through pedestrian pathways. It is not our final checkpoint, which is also known as the relevant point of check. It is a check before we make the final checks. So why do we do this? Okay, why do we do these checks? Well, to have the ability to see through the footpaths between the parked vehicles, through the windscreens, looking for clues, shadows of cars that might be there. It's looking through between parked vehicles that's basically it, one of them. Then the other is to make good safe decisions or judgments for oncoming traffic, side traffic. And the other reason is to be able to select a good safety cushion, or known as a gap, to make a good gap selection where we do not collide or have other vehicles stop suddenly, which is abrasively, or to slow down other vehicles who have priority on that main road. Okay, let's talk about the sixth check. This is an important check. It's called a relevant safety point check, where there is no available vision due to block out conditions, like a block corner. Usually these corners are on a slight crest, there is trees blocking, or there's a truck parked so close that you have no available vision, or a safe vision. Our road ends at a bend junction or a T-junction. These types are known as blockout corners and very dangerous. Now, we should do these types of corners at a slowest possible speed to approach one, that is, and looking for clear, safe gaps with all thoughts towards stopping. Some instructors call it the peep creep to a point, and peeping, creeping out and leaning out for a safer vision. So the peep, creep, lean out for safer vision. I guess why. Now let's have a look at some of the whys we do this. Now, if a corner is a blind corner, a block corner, we must approach them at with cautionary speed. If we do it at a non-cautionary speed, a bit too quick towards the corner, it may lead us into an accident. We have to get to a certain point where we do have a vision of the vehicle, and so we can select a safe gap. Approaching corners, when we approach corners, we expect vehicles. We look for clues. Once again, this allows us to evaluate the safety of the corners, and so we can make safer decisions. Once again, do not stop or slow down other vehicles, and make sure that we can see them. If we go slowly, we do the peep and creep. Drivers might be see us, they might be alerted to us, and also warn us that they are there in coming through the blind corner. Also, another good reason is when tested at the RMS, which is the Road Maritime Services, known in Australia as past RTA. This is when you're having a driver's practical test, final practical test for the Red Ps or overseas conversion license. You're expected to make safe driving decisions using cautionary measures or speed towards giveaways or blocked corners, and eliminating the possibility of any collision. Hi guys, I'm back again. Let's look at number 7. The 7th check is called a four-way check, usually at a traffic light when we are making a left turn, and we're behind the third line. Okay, and it's a red light, then it just changes to the green light, and one green light or green arrow we need to go. after checking if it's safe to do so. So after that, so once it's gone, so where do we check? Okay, we have to make sure to check that there's no cyclist on the left hand side. You have to check the mirrors and a head check to the left hand side. Make sure there's no kids running the footpath and do not know their road rules. We make sure that the oncoming vehicle turning right when we're making a left knows their road rule, they could push in. We also need to know where to check, when to check the right hand side for the red light runner. And also the last one is also very important. Again, I'll emphasize the red light runner, okay, is one of the most important ones, because if that's on high speed collision, so we don't want that. And also the pedestrian crossing, okay, any illegal pedestrian that could be crossing on weather, etc. The traffic light. So once again, why do we do it? Okay, so why is to make sure that everyone knows their road rules, to see the cyclists, to watch the red light runner again, and to see the pedestrians. That's basically it.